Hello, everyone. I'm just making a quick announcement, and I'm greeting all of the folks online. Welcome. We're just getting ourselves settled, and we're glad to have everybody here in person and online, or whenever you may be catching this at a different time. And we just want to make a quick note to anybody who is joining us online. If you have any questions, you can direct them in the chat, or you can email them to estone@armorheights.org. So I'll hand it off in just a second. And for the folks in the room, we're just mindful of the noise so that everybody can hear the presentation. And also, if you do have a question or you want to provide a comment when there's time to do so, just make sure someone hands you a mic so that everyone can have the same experience here in the room, that we can hear each other and that folks catch it online. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you, Aaron. So we did introduce our folks, and so I won't take up any more time doing that. But just also in terms of the etiquette, I know that sometimes we have touched on difficult subjects, and we are a congregation of diverse people with diverse experiences. We have different experiences and different ideas. We do ask for respect as much as openness. Okay, we're here to do the right thing. We're here because we care about people, and especially people who suffer anywhere in the world. This is the focus today, is suffering. We're not into all the political and different ways people can read what's happening in the world. We are focusing on the real life struggles and suffering of the people and some of the reasons that's happening. And what can we as a congregation do concretely to support those people? So with that, I'll pass it along. I hope I haven't said anything wrong.
No, you did fine. Okay, hello everybody. As Dr. Harris said, my name is Guy and I'm with John. We both work with Presbyterian World Service and Development, which is the development, relief, and refugee sponsorship agency of the Presbyterian Church in Canada. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with our ministry, and today we want to share a little bit about how we have been involved in Palestine and Gaza since 2023, but also we have been in solidarity there for many, many more years before that, constantly accompanying the Palestinian people under occupation and helping to empower them and to survive actually through these difficult times. And obviously since October 2023, things have just gone so bad, as we know, as we read in the newspapers, and it can get so depressing as to, well, is anything happening there? Is it even possible for us to assist anybody in that situation? And today we're going to try to share a few stories, a few pictures, to give you an idea of what actually has been happening since. We have been raising funds from the constituency in response to the Gaza crisis and have been able to put that money to work. Every time we get any money for Gaza, it immediately gets put to work, and we will give you a few examples. How is that possible? Well, it's thankful to the family of churches and our ecumenical networks. So ecumenical means churches working together, churches of different denominations. We work together at the Canadian Food Grains Bank. We work together at the ACT Alliance, and with that we are able to find ways to support people in Gaza who are suffering. And how is that possible when we hear that borders are closed, that nothing gets in? It's possible because inside Gaza, there are organizations that continue to function in spite of everything, and they are connected with the outside world, like our churches here in Canada, and we are able to transfer funds and to help them through these difficult times. So here's a picture of some education that happens in Gaza with our partnership there, and we'll show you a few pictures. Do you want to? Yeah, so since 2023, we have been able to contribute over $300,000 worth in programming in Gaza. which includes funding matched at the Canadian Food Grains Bank, which is a great tool for us to be able to access and multiply the impact of our resources. We've worked with the ACT Alliance as well, providing access to healthcare, which is extremely critical, as you have heard so much of the destruction of healthcare infrastructures in Gaza. We have been able to provide food vouchers to families so that they can at least find food, get access, and continue to survive. And also psychological support for children, as we heard during the sermon, which is critical and important in such a distressing time to be able to accompany the children and to still maintain hope. So here we can see a medical clinic where women are approaching with their children to get critical medicines and any kind of treatment that is needed. So that's part of the work we've been able to support through the ACT Alliance. Here we can see mostly women and children, again, who are the main beneficiaries and participants in these programs. Our partners are always targeting those who are most in need, those who are the most vulnerable in those situations. Unfortunately, in Gaza, it becomes increasingly difficult as most people are experiencing very difficult conditions that often now look like famine. And here we can see, well, you know, the smile on the faces of the children. Yeah, it's amazing that in spite of all the atrocities, we can still see pictures like that. And that's the result of the work of our partners working with the children and finding activities that they can come together and see some hope and try to stand together in the face of so much adversity. So I'm going to pass it on to John now to talk a bit about our food assistance work.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, my name is John Papio, Program Coordinator at PWS&D. Thank you for inviting me, Guy and I, to come and speak this afternoon a little bit about the work we do. So with the Canadian Food Grains Bank, PWS&D has been supporting food assistance efforts with the Development and Peace. It's the Catholic agency in Canada that does work in the Middle East. Prepared food was provided to populations in need, and food baskets were provided that included different items, food baskets, canned tuna, dried nuts, canned beans, olives, and hummus, as an example. Yeah, so here's just an example of the warehouse, the distribution point of being able to give people the supplies. And as you know, the challenge within Gaza has been getting humanitarian aid into Gaza so that it can be distributed to people in need. And that was a challenge for this particular project, but it does get through and it does happen. They were able to support over 17,000 families with ready-to-eat food as well as in-kind assistant packages. Yeah, we have a short video here as well that'll give you a good image of the work and the distribution.
عظيم هو الخير حين يضيء عيونا وروح العطاء عظيما كلفتة ود بنفس محبة ولمسات قلب بكف رحيما وماذا سوى الخير يعطي بريقا لجوهرنا ذا جمال وقيمة بأسمى عمل لنحيا جميعا حياة كريمة سنعطي الأمل بأسمى عمل لنحيا جميعا حياة كريمة سعادتنا حين نأتي كحلم لكل شعور يقاسي هموما فهم بيننا متعبون.
Yeah, those critical months when people didn't have the ability to cook food, so these ready-to-eat meals were a critical path to keeping people alive and food. Subsequently, they were able to then get humanitarian aid in, and they were distributing ready-to-eat food that included, like I said earlier, but date biscuits, canned tuna, dried nuts, canned beans, hummus, other things that you could eat that didn't need necessarily to be cooked to eat. So I want to share with you a story about Ibrahim. He's one of the project participants, the beneficiaries of the program with the Canadian Food Grains Bank with Development and Peace. So Ibrahim is one of many Palestinians in Gaza who lives with unending by the war that escalated in October 2023. A father and a war survivor, Ibrahim now cares for his 3-year-old son who lives with a disability and has a highly specific dietary needs. His child eats only a few basic foods, mainly biscuits and milk, items that have become scarce and unaffordable amid severe food market shortages. As food insecurity and displacement deepened across Gaza, Development and Peace was able to support, with the support of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, to distribute ready-to-eat food and mixed nut parcels to conflict-affected families in Gaza City and northern Gaza. Designated for households without access to kitchens, cooking fuel, or reliable incomes, the parcels addressed urgent nutritional needs. Ibrahim received assistance in December 2024. The food parcels eased his financial strain and brought immediate comfort to his son, particularly the date biscuits, which helped reduce reliance on costly market goods. What mattered most to Ibrahim was the respect shown throughout the process. He says, "You care about the opinions and challenges of the participants. That makes us feel that we have rights." In a prolonged crisis, Ibrahim's story underscores how dignified a responsive aid can restore both nutrition and hope. So our other projects and interventions, as Guy was saying, is through the ACT Alliance. And we've been supporting a project with Christian Aid. And this, their intervention in Gaza has been to support elementary school education with remedial classes and psychosocial support, community-based mental health and psychological support sessions for adults, men and women, the formation of 7 community committees to strengthen local response capacities in a rapid changing context. And the legal assistance to aid have been provided to people to support access to justice and protection. So the psychosocial support has been to provide remedial classes to 300 students. This is their programming, to children's ages 6 to 12. This includes helping with elementary school education classes and to create a safe space for children to come together, play, interact with other children. I just want to share with you a story about Omar. He's a 10-year-old child with physical disabilities in Gaza, becoming withdrawn from his family after his family was displaced and forced to live in a tent. Feeling different, he refused to leave and lost his confidence. Through an emergency education program supported by Christian Aid, Omar was greatly encouraged to join class activities. That first step changed everything for Omar. Now enrolled in 3rd grade, he studies alongside his peers and looks forward to school. He says, "I felt the same as the other children. He dreaming of a future where his disability is a strength, not a barrier." Okay, Guy?
Thank you, John. So those were all examples of things that have actually happened and that you are connected to through PWS&D. And I hope it gives you a sense that things are possible in spite of the very dramatic circumstances. But it's not only the actions that we take to assist people in kind, it's also the advocacy work that we need to do in Canada. And Kairos Canada has a campaign to end the illegal settlements in the West Bank and to tell our government that we cannot be supporting Israel and those illegal settlements. So you're welcome to go to the Kairos website and to sign on. Yeah, Dorcas?
You notice there that it says stole land from Beit Sahur. Now you may not know Beit Sahur, but this is right up against Shepherd's Field, where the angels appeared to the shepherds. That's how close the incursion of the settlements is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Would you like to repeat that, Dorcas? I'm so
For the
sorry.
people online.
Just for the folks online, I think it's very, yes, thank you.
You saw the picture of the illegal settlement coming up against the fence, and it said Beit Sahur. I just wasn't sure if people would know where Beit Sahur is. It's Bethlehem, a Palestinian city, and that is right beside Shepherd's Fields, where the angel appeared to the shepherds. That's how close. The mayor of Beit Sahur wrote to the churches, and we wrote back, letting them know that we would do our best to support the Kairos Palestine initiative and to speak out against the illegal settlements.
So again, you can go on the Kairos Canada website and sign on to this action to tell the Canadian government to tell Israel to not support these illegal settlements. So that's a concrete action, and you're invited to take those kinds of advocacy actions. So now what are we planning on doing in 2026? Well, a lot of what you've seen that has been done so far is what we want to continue to do, and we will do it with the monies that are entrusted to us from the constituency, from coast to coast, and also from undesignated donations from those who support PWS&D on a regular basis. So we will continue to do cash distributions to meet basic needs with the Canadian Food Grains Bank. We will provide health support through the ACT Alliance, as well as education and psychological support for children, and things like hygiene kits for clean water. Those are just a few examples. There are many other activities that are also supported through the initiatives that John shared with you. We hope that this gives you a little bit of a sense of what's happening out there, and we have maybe a couple of minutes for any questions or comments that you may have.
Yes, absolutely.
And use the microphone.
Yeah,
if you
I'll walk
please.
around with a microphone. Questions, comments?
Thank you very much, Guy and John. Some of us have heard about the action of Israel to, I'm not quite sure what precisely it is, but to prohibit or declare illegal a number of humanitarian organizations that had been working to get aid into Gaza. Can you just give us a sense of what that situation is right now and how it might affect some of the partners that PWS is working with?
I have heard of that happening. I think they're mostly agencies or organizations that are advocating on rights, reporters and such. In terms of aid delivery agencies, I'm not sure. And I only know that, for instance, Development and Peace with their local partner, they haven't been impacted. And they're planning a next phase. They're working on a project right now. So that's an example. Christian Aid as well. I spoke to someone on Thursday, and again, their local partners are worried that they could lose their status to be able to function in Gaza, but as of right now, they are able to continue. So it is impacting some. My sense or my understanding is it's more ones that are forcing that, or more with the advocacy and about the rights and promoting what the situation that's going on in Gaza, rather than humanitarian ones.
But it's also that the Israeli government is asking for lists of employees that are delivering the assistance, and that could put their lives in danger. So a lot of agencies are refusing to give these kinds of lists, and as a result are being refused the right to operate by the Israeli government. But that's just an attempt at controlling and also then targeting people who may be involved in critical assistance. They like to link this to terrorism and so on. And So, but so far we haven't heard that this is an issue within like the partnerships that we have operating in the area. But Doctors Without Borders, we heard that last week, were told they couldn't continue, and they are also offering critical assistance there. Patty is on our governing committee, by the way, at PWS&D, so it's really nice to have this presence here at Armour Heights, and we really appreciate your contributions to our work.
Other questions? We'll have a few more minutes.
Dorcas?
Didn't see your hand.
Uh-oh.
Maybe, Guy, you should get everyone to sign up for the regular PWS&D magazine, helpful information that comes out.
We have our electronic newsletter that comes out once a month that anybody can sign on to. You just go to our website. At the bottom of the main page, there's a place where you just enter your email address, and then every month you will get a very brief newsletter. I hope you managed to get to sign on last time, or I know you had some challenges.
Well, we'll definitely put the link on our email that we send out, and then we'll let people know it's there, so you can actually click it if you want to receive the email.
And also in the Presbyterian Connection newspaper, every 3 months that comes out, you can find a few pages that are dedicated to PWS&D's work, so you can get updates from there as well.
Yes, and Kim has just confirmed that it will be in Thursday's e-blast. So, and I was just going to mention, if you are not necessarily someone who wants to make online donations, you may not know this, but you can actually do it through your envelope. And if you just put PWS&D, the counting team will make sure it's directed appropriately. And just while I have the mic, I just wanted to share a comment from someone joining us online, and they say, it's great to hear about the great work that is being done. I'm glad to hear that aid is getting through. And I think we can all echo that here as well.
Anyone else? Okay. One thing I wanted to say, because I know this is a whole discussion that we had at the presbytery, our presbytery, because there have been statements that have also come out of the General Assembly, especially the International Affairs Committee, the concerns where sometimes politics and people fear, what is happening, especially with the rise of anti-Semitism around the world, and how this kind of conversation can maybe fuel that. And what we're trying to do is separate these. These are two very different things. We're talking about actions of an Israeli government, which is a very particular government. A lot of politicians do not agree with what the government is doing. And we are very concerned about anti-Semitism, and it's something we need to address as well. But this is something else. This is a focus on a people who are being decimated, and the word genocide is very thoughtfully used, not only by us, but United Nations and all the international organizations. So there's serious, especially in Canada, given our own history with Indigenous peoples. Genocide happens in many ways, but there's certain patterns that are there, and we should know them by now. So,
yeah, for us, what's important is that people's needs are met irrespective of their political affiliation or color or gender or sexual orientation or whatever. It doesn't matter. When people are in need, we are called to respond. And when Jesus was with us and he was meeting people in need, he wasn't asking them first to clear all the list of things. He's like, he saw someone in need and he healed that person or fed that person or provided that person with water. And that's what we are called to do, and that's what we work with our partners. In many places, our partners are not even Christian, or the people they serve may be Muslim or maybe of all kinds of different backgrounds. But they are people who are experiencing critical situations of poverty or distress because of conflict or disasters and so on. And Gaza is an extreme case of one where conflict, obviously, we call it a human-made or a man-made disaster, really. Like, it shouldn't be this way. It's not meant to be that way. We have enough resources for everybody, and even in that part of the world, there would be plenty for everybody if it wasn't the current situation. So that's, for us, it's a humanitarian impetus, and the politics come in to try to mess things up. But we have to remain, true to our calling and to our actions that we're called to take in these circumstances.
All right, well, thank you very much, and you can continue the conversation. I know some of us will be going downstairs for our band rehearsal, but thank you. You brought a lot of resources. I mean, two of you here and Dorcas, we are so, so grateful. And we are going to find creative ways. I mean, yes, there's the funding to keep this as a focus for us as a congregation through the year, and that'll be our commitment. So thank you.
Thank you.